Steven Guarino right here at Carolina Sports with Bob Santos. Man, I know you're here with David Morrell. Man, Morrell's, bringing out the crowds out here in Minnesota, even in the cold, because it's cold out here.
Yeah, but he brings the heat.
That's true. That's perfect segue. Good job. Yeah, man, Agbeko, as you said, was one of the few people calling Morrell out. What is it? I don't know. Did you see something in Agbeko that you feel gives him the confidence that he thinks he could defeat a Morrell?
Well, obviously he's 28-2, and he's got a tremendous amount of knockouts. So he can't punch. He knows he has that puncher's chance. But David Morrell is just different. He's special. He's second to none. I mean, he's just an unbelievable talent. He's the second coming of Roy Jones Jr. in the sport of boxing.
Wow, that's big. That's high assignment right there.
Yeah, there's no two ways about it. I've been around a lot of great ones, but his talent level, if he wasn't boxing, I always said this, he'd be playing professional baseball, he'd be playing professional football. His athleticism is second to none. He's just top tier talent, athletically, intellectually. He's the whole package.
With a victory on Saturday, him and the other David, right, Benavidez, have been going back and forth, a little bit. Jose, David's dad said that he's sent an offer. Morrell said that that's not true. What's your take on all that? Do you know anything that just has?
You have handlers behind the scenes, right? I mean, fighters are going to fight. I know David Benavidez real well. He's a tremendous talent. They call him the Mexican Monster for a reason. He's a beast. I'll tell you this. I was fortunate to be in a camp with the Benavidez. He's a savant. He in the ring. His intellect is second to none. He's got the talent. He's got the size. He's got everything. I can see why a lot of people try to avoid him and maybe want to go in different directions. But that said, David Morrell too is a special fighter. So there's no two ways about it. They would fight each other. It just comes down to the people that handle their careers. You know what I mean? Sometimes they're trying to protect their own interests. But I can tell you for 100% fact, David Morrell will fight anybody. That includes Bivol at 75. Whoever wants it can get it. And I know Benavidez is the same way. I know him very well. I have a good relationship with him. He's the same way too. I know he would fight Bivol. He'll take on all comers. So at the end of the day, it just comes down to handlers trying to do what they're going to do. But as far as the fighters go, these guys are going. David Morrell in his third pro fight, he's fighting a guy 27-0 for the title. Who does that? So you got to know he ain't ducking and dodging nobody.
For sure, man. Canelo recently talked about Benavidez and kind of said, I'm the king right now. I kind of make the decisions.
Oh, he is. There ain't no two ways about it. He's the one that's driving the train.
Right.
He's the engineer driving the train. Everybody says any different is kidding themselves. He's the engineer driving the train, and he's earned the right to do what he wants to do, right? So when people say, oh, he's ducking, he's dodging, look, the guy turned pro as a 140-pounder. I'm going to give Canelo all the credit in the world. He's with Louis DeCubas Jr. now, guiding the ship with those guys over there, and, Al Heyman, obviously. And at the end of the day, you can't say he ducked and dodged anybody. You can't unify the titles at 68. You can't fight the types of guys that he fought. People forget he fought James Kirkland when James Kirkland was the animal and this and that. He fought him. He fought Angulo. He took on Mayweather when he was, 21, 22 years old. So to say he's ducking and dodging is ridiculous. At the end of the day, people got to remember in boxing, when the Patriots were at their ultimate with Tom Brady, you don't play the Patriots every week. So you can't expect every single fight you're going to fight. Sometimes there's going to be some fights involved because of the sanctioning bodies, because of the TV networks. But as far as ducking and dodging, look at the guy's career. He ain't ducking and dodging nobody either.
It's true. I mean, he has the right to make his choices. Right?
People forget he went up and fought Bivol. How you going to say he's ducking anybody when he went up to 75 and fought Bivol? He fought Kovalov at 75. You turn pro as a 40-pounder. You can't say he's ducking and dodging anybody. So I'm not going to go that route. They're going to determine to do what they want to do. He's the engineer driving the train. But at the end of the day, of course, would we love to see David Morrell Jr. Against Canelo? Everybody wants that opportunity against Canelo. But it's up to him to decide and do what he wants to do. And he's given the fans a tremendous career, and there's still more to come. But at the end of the day, David Morrell Jr. is a bad boy.
He's coming.
That's a bad man. That's the second coming of Roy Jones Jr.
That's high praise, man. That's high praise. Just speaking of Canelo's record, do you have him pound for pound number one, or does Terrence have that spot right now?
I got Canelo pound for pound number one. People can they can make arguments one way or the other. A guy that turns pro at 140 pounds goes up and beats Kovalov at 175. I don't even care what happened in the ball fight. Just to do what he did in the ball fight. Think about the weight class differential. To unify the belts at 168, I mean, just body of work, man. I understand we all like to be the flavor of the month, and no disrespect to Terrence Crawford. That's a bad man. The performance that he had against Earl Spence, we give all the credit in the world. I give all the credit in the world to those guys. But let's just take a step back and let's look at everything in its totality and what Canelo's done for the sport, the types of fights that he's given the sport, the events that he's given the sport, unifying the titles, doing these types of things that he's done. I can't go against that.
No, it's a long list of accomplishments for sure. Just as someone who has game planned against a Gervonta Davis, I want to, kind of the second face of boxing, or maybe the face of boxing, who knows. But as someone who's game planned for Gervonta, having watched Devin Haney recently, having watched Shakur recently.
What a performance.
Well, yeah, let's go the Devin route first. Like you said, what a performance. He was showed a complete performance against Regis Prograde, dropped him even, showed a little more power at 140. How does a Tank versus Haney play out at
135? I got Tank all day, every day. Now, Haney, obviously at 140, what he's added, what he showed with progress, obviously it'll be a very, very, very interesting fight. It's hard to go against Tank, though, because he has the great equalizer. So, you can win. As we found out, unfortunately with Mario Barrios, we were winning that fight. It was Floyd Mayweather who went up to him and said, hey, in the 11th round, you need a knockout. You're losing this fight, right? So when that took place, he showed that he has the great equalizer and he can turn a fight around on a dime. And he's proven it time and time again. So the thing with Haney is he's a tremendous boxer. He's got great feet. Matter of fact, I helped him get the sparring for this last fight for Progress. So I've seen them both up close and personal. And the thing about it is, though, with the added weight, with what he's been doing, now he's getting a little bit older. The performance against Progress was second to none. It was an unbelievable performance. You got to give credit where credit is due. But still, with Gervonta, man, he got that great equalizer. So you could have the greatest night, and he could turn that thing around one shot, like we found out with Hector Luis Garcia. So I've been up against Gervonta a couple times, and even one shot.
Right, he has. You have to be perfect the whole time.
Yeah, you got to be perfect the whole time.
Yeah, no, and say Shakur. Shakur, got a lot of heat for his performance.
Yeah, I like Shakur. You give him credit. He's an Olympian. He's a world champion. You can't take that away from him. But me personally, I have Gervonta and Devin Haney ahead of him.
Was that just based off recent performance, or just kind of you've always seen it that way?
I've kind of always seen it that way. And I think at 140, Haney beats Shakur, and again Tank. I don't see how he can beat Tank. People can say whatever they want to say. I just don't see how you can beat Tank. You know what I mean? You was moving a lot against a guy like De Los Santos. I don't know what the reason was, but if you think De Los Santos can punch, woo! Gervonta is a whole nother beast.
Where does Teofimo lie in this whole mix, right? Because he's technically the man at 140, right? He beat the man who beat the man.
He's the man at 140. I like Devin Haney against Teofimo if they fight. I just think styles make fights. So I like him at 140. Gervonta against Teofimo. I like Gervonta Davis in that fight too. He's the man. All credit to him and what he's done. Undisputed. Then comes up to 140. Had a tremendous performance against Josh Taylor. But at the end of the day, hey, that's why they make the fights. I have my opinion. Other people have their opinion. The greatest thing about boxing is if we all like the same guy and everybody liked my guys and wanted my guys, then, what would be the point of sports and the competition of sports? So it's no disrespect to Teofimo. It's no disrespect to Shakur Stevenson. I'm just looking, from my perspective, my 31 years in the professional ranks and what I've seen. Hey, I've been wrong before, like we all have. But at the end of the day, Tank Davis, he right there, and I tell you, Devin Haney, he's pushing them. So you got to be on your A game.
Yeah, definitely, man. So hopefully that's why they fight the fights, right?
That's why they fight the fights.
Yes, sir. Bob, tell the fans where they can follow you, brother.
At Bob Santos Boxing. Let's go, baby. Let's get it, baby.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for your time.